I'm Paul Kerruish from Fynoderee Distillery.
And Tiffany Kerruish, also from Fynoderee.
So guys, tonight you've launched the RNLI Special Edition Gin. Just tell us about that. How did it come about and why the RNLI, why the partnership?
Yeah, it all started about a year and a half ago. Bit of a chance conversation with one of the ladies from Ramsey lifeboat station who bumped into me in Parliament Street in Ramsey, and she was telling me about the fact that the RNLI was going to be turning 200 years old next year, and she thought it would be a nice idea for Fynoderee to come up with some kind of commemorative spirit. So we had a little think about that, and we thought what an amazing idea that would be, and the idea really kind of grew legs of its own, and it went from being something maybe quite small for Ramsey to something for the whole island, and now something that hopefully we'll be able to promote and shine light on the history of the islands, connection with the RNLI, right the way across the British Isles.
And just tell us a little bit about the gin.
So we wanted to do something a bit different to our existing range, which as you do more becomes more difficult, but what I've always wanted to do is a really juniper forward gin. So as we're making this part of what will be a coastal collection of spirits for this part of this partnership, we decided to go with big juniper forward gin, and then we wanted to have obviously a coastal influence. So we've got quite a range of interesting botanicals in there that balance out with that juniper forward flavour. And we've got fennel, got cardamom, a bit of licorice, so you've got some really nice botanical notes coming out there. Citrus is lemon and a little bit of sweet orange, and then at the end we've also got some sugar kelp. So there is your coastal influence, and that gives you genuinely, which it seems like it's obvious, but we all thought, well, will it really? It does give it that element of salinity, and you get sort of an umami finish to the gin, and it's definitely on the back end of the gin that you get that sunny touch, which is coming from the sugar kelp.
Just behind us now you can hear the Benwick crew preparing to leave, and just it sort of shows how, you know, even 200 years after the RNLI was founded, the Isle of Man is still very much an active seafaring community. How much does that play into your intentions here? With obviously you were saying about donating bottles of the rum that you're launching as well across the UK. How important do you think the island is still in this story that is the RNLI? Because obviously this is where it came from.
Well, I think it's, as Tiffany talked about in the presentation and the launch, the history is quite phenomenal when you look into it, and we have this amazing monument that's right over my shoulder, which is the Tower of Refuge, which is a monument to this institution and what William Hillary did. And although obviously it's known in its past, I think often when an organisation grows so big and national as it has, maybe some of its roots just starts to just dim slightly. What we want to do is really shine a light on the fact this all started here, and actually at Fort Anne, because I think William Hillary actually used to live at Fort Anne, looking at the tragedies he saw in those days with wrecks on St Mary's Isle, which then resulted in the Tower of Refuge being erected. And then the rum, the idea of barrel aging a rum on the tower was originally, I think, a slightly fanciful concept, but gradually through talking to people and consulting, we've got now the momentum to do that, agreement with government and customs, which is just the icing on the cake for what we hope will be a really memorable, commemorative coastal rum that will be barrel aged there, and we hope will bring even more spotlight on the island, because it's not just gin, it's rum, more people interested, hopefully more press, which can only be good for the RNLI, the Isle of Man, and hopefully obviously the Distillery as well. So a true partnership.
And if you just give us your name and role within the RNLI?
Yes, I'm Alan Corlett. I'm the operations manager in Peel, but I chair the Isle of Man 200th panel.
And just tell us a little bit about this evening, because obviously you've linked up with Fynoderee Gin for this special edition that they're doing. What does that mean for yourselves, just in terms of linking up with such a big local company?
Well, we're very, very proud to link with Fynoderee, such a prestigious local company. We have a small panel on the Isle of Man that are working towards celebrating the 200th anniversary. We started work about 2 years ago because we wanted to make the Isle of Man at the forefront of the 200th celebration. And part of that is trying to get prestigious events, prestigious products indeed associated with us. So one of our panel, Jane Husnoen from Ramsey, came up with the idea of linking with Fynoderee. She approached them and they were absolutely delighted. they've run away with it, really. It's not just a wonderful gin, but they're a wonderful organisation. Paul and Tiffany have just embraced this project altogether. So, as Paul said earlier on, we now have a gin which is available now and a rum to follow next year. So, absolutely wonderful.
I'd say it's a big local company, but yourselves have a national presence, but very much at home in the Isle of Man. How much do you feel that the whole community sort of gathers around the RNLI?
We have terrific support for the RNLI and the Isle of Man. I mean, with 5 stations here, Ramsey, Douglas, Port St Mary, Port Erin and Peel. A lot of volunteers involved in those stations, both at sea, operationally and indeed fundraising. But we have great support from governments, from everybody. I think the RNLI is just creates a warm feeling for everybody in the Isle of Man.
Obviously, just as we look at now in Douglas, obviously it's quieter than it would have been in years gone by, but it still is very much an active harbour, very much an active seafaring community on the island. As you approach the 200-year celebration of the RNLI, what are you looking forward to, and are you able to give us any hints at all about what we'll be seeing?
Well, we hope there'll be 1 or 2 high-profile events. I can't say too much yet, I'm afraid. It'll come as a nice surprise at the time. But we hope to be involved in a large way in some of the major events on the island. So we'll start, for example, with commemorating Sir William Hillary's life in January next year. So we've got a major service in St George's Church for that. And then we'll move on to the actual day when the RNLI was formed, March the 4th. There'll be a commemoration there. Tynwald Day, we rather hope, will be a commemoration of the RNLI again. But as a general rule, we're looking to celebrate the RNLI, commemorate the past, yes, celebrate the present. But what we really want to do is engage the future. We want to inspire future generations to volunteer and support the Isle of Man. So we'll be looking to be out and about at major events, trying to engage with people. Simple as that.
Masters in our hands. Just to do a slightly premature, but I think we can get away with it, slightly premature toast to 200 years of the RNLI. So ladies and gentlemen, the RNLI. Wonderful. You talked about threes, well a single and a double. So on that, ladies and gentlemen, it's lovely to see everyone this evening. Paul and Tiffany, thank you very much indeed. And without further ado, and handing over the microphone, 3 times.